All right, friends. Sorry about that. Uh, I was doing a favor for a friend of mine from work from before, and we got a little behind. I had to get some food. Haven't eaten all day. Now I'm just searching for my phone stand, which I might just make this Vice my phone stand, honestly. Oh, God. I just gotta find a way to make it properly. All right. No, that won't work. So, hello and welcome to Stalvin's stream, or Stalvin's Forge stream, number 5, the fifth inning. So yes, we're hunting at the moment for some kind of stand. And while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and light the forge because it is terribly cold in here. And I really want to get some warmth in here. Ow! Fuck. That burnt me pretty good. That just took some hair off me. I did not know we were set so high. I wish he had forewarned me. That was unpleasant. By a lot. Yeah, that just burned up my arm. But thankfully, I did not get burnt. It was just a nice, quick hit. If I had known he had done that, I would have not done what I did, which was something stupid. Looks like we're just got to go with the old prop, which would be a glove that he or I bought like forever ago. But yeah. Burnt me up to here. Had my sleeve up too. It's terrible. I don't know what he did to it. To make it go high. There. We're turn off one. I think what happened was I turned on. Let that heat up, warm up, get us nice in here. We just very well. If we're lucky, we'll make something similar. Hello, Miss Murder. Welcome to stream, Breakfast. The fireside. It's good to see y'all here. Either way, we're letting the forge warm up. Oh, the killing joke. Yes, it did not get my beard. I'm very happy with that. Not pleasant. But yeah. Make bread. Yes, we'll make bread. It's good to see you up and about. How's everything going with you, killing? Alright, so we're going to return to this that we were beating on last stream. We're going to finish this out, and then we're going to start on some handles, hopefully today. Sorry to keep y'all waiting. As I said, I had to do a fake tear out. It was going to take way too much time. Outstanding. Hope to see you at the fight on Saturday. live messages. Outstanding. Starting to get a little toasty in here. A little bit. Brought some lovely drinks. I wish I was sponsored, but I'm not. Alright. Welcome to the stream, everyone. We'll get started here shortly. And then we can have some fun. About 23 in the shop right now, and it's going to take a little bit longer for the forge to heat back up since my buddy's been gone for a little bit, so we're dealing with a very cold forge, so bear with me. Safety first. Done today, we'll be putting our stamp on it. Some of these very well might be sold at the fight on Saturday, on the 19th. It really depends. I might try to sell some of my friend's stuff as well. Occam's router. Nice, nice. Oh, if you want to see something, my buddy here. Yeah. Should have wore more shirts. So, while we wait for that to get where we need it, feel free to ask questions while you have me for a moment, slightly undistracted. As I said, I haven't eaten today, so bear with me. But we'll get right into it as soon as that's up. I'll try not to have too many disruptions, but I will answer chat as I can. And like I said, if we get done with that over there, that long bar, we'll get into making some handles. Noise warning early on. Once we start making the handles, it will get loud because of the grinder. So you'll should turn down your volume at that point. I turned on the second burner just to kind of speed it up. It's taking way too long. Had it been a wiser man, I would have came in and prepped the forge a little bit earlier. It's already feeling warmer. So how's everybody doing today? you coming back to work there, Fireside? Maybe a couple of you. We'll be making some saxes. About like that. It's not beautiful. It is to me, but we'll be making something about that shape. We're trying to make it a little bit more of a straighter broke-back sax, meaning that as it makes its way from the spine to the tip, it will make a very sharp cut down before meeting at the cutting edge at the bottom. So it'll be a very sharp cutting edge, and not the sense of it being sharp. Sorry, my words are escaping me. But it'll make that nice straight line, if I can get it to do what I want. Take a little bit for the anvil to warm up from all the heat, from the blades that we're making, and it'll stop sucking so much heat out. That was really quick. I was a little surprised. Have I ever made crystal steel? No, but I hope to do that sometime in the near future, and that's going to be a long project as well as a very hard project. But I am familiar with it. That was a very good question. out of what we're working. So I'm going to have to constantly be balancing between how much I can hit and how much it's going to take out the heat. The more heat it takes out, the less it's going to move, obviously. So just back and forth, back and forth. So for the most part, I'm just going to constantly be switching between these two different steels. So at least there's something going on at all times. This other one we're going to go ahead and mark it. And we're back. Alright, so for the most part, this one's done. Once I get it cooled down, we can be cleaning it, polishing it, sharpening the edge, after we put a handle on, of course, which we have a couple blanks around here somewhere. Alright. It is kind of like that. Oh, thank you, Raph. Appreciate it. As always, for those who have not been here, I keep looking in to make sure the temperature is the same between the steel and the forge. If they're a similar color on the inside, it means it's ready to be pulled back out and to be hammered on again. If it's not, I gotta give it time to get to the right temp. Keeps everything uniform and moving relatively the same. Address that problem shortly. Yes, I'm still cold. Nothing to help fight off the cold like smaller than Palmer. There we go. I'd probably kill for some music, but at the same time I can't. While I ran the shop to see if any material. Not much. Leave myself a note to get more handle material. While I'm on my downtime for a little bit while I wait for that to reheat, feel free to check out the description to find out some really cool content creators. Give them a watch after or during this. So feel free. Give them some love. There's some great ones like Manifest Destiny, The Killing Joke, Doc Griffin, a few others. That's not too bad. Ah, Cadunt! Haha! Cadunt's also another one to go watch. Usually on Doc Griffin's. You can find her pretty easy there. But yeah, go check out those people and give them some love. Don't listen to Cadunt, she's just a Cadunt. She's condunting right now. Ah. But yeah, check out those people. They're fun. They're fun to watch. And that's fine by me. So, man. It's fun to watch her do things on the streams because it's like, that happened? Okay. I see him on my screen right there. But don't forget to check out I Rate Prostate as well. Oh, that'd be fucking awesome, but yeah. Do what you do, Kadun. Sputtering. Sound like the fortress sputtering. Experimenting with different ways to get down the tang. I found that using the Mini Mew using the nice edge on the side of the anvil there to start hammering this all flat and nice and smooth. We'll probably take down some of the grinding problems I'll have later on. And then just kind of working this thicker spot right here in the center, as you can see, making that thinner and thinner. Unlike thick thighs, that's not good. I don't know what you want me to say. I'll have to cut this a little down. That's still a good handle. Alright, we'll use it. Sweet. How come no? I'm not. That is something I'm wanting to get into when I'm a little bit better at it. Much like my Facebook page and my channel here, I admit I'm an amateur. I'm not that edge in anything. No, not yet. I love what I do, but yeah. It does look difficult, and I would imagine it is, to make sure everything lines up properly. Like on the Nova's special Secret the Viking board, where he took out some metal, put in some differentiating metal, I believe, and so it'd show up. I imagine that was quite difficult. But yeah, I would love to get into that later when I feel more comfortable and be consistent with what I make. Once I make a continuously stable and good build out of all my blanks and profiles, I'm going to start slowly. The closest I get to inlaying anything is just indenting my maker's mark into it. And then from there, slowly work onto more artistic expression. But at the same time, I'm not so artsy. You would check out someone like Alfred, who's a really good smith. He does some cool stuff. I would expect inlays and other some suches from him, because he's got a lot more experience than I do. So many tools I'd love to build, but it all just takes time. All one-car garage. It's just a prefab building, pretty small. But if I had my own shop, I would definitely be constantly trying to fill it with different tools and odds and ends. The few things I can probably get into this shop still is a new post leg vise, because the one I got's busted, and a new regular vise. So I could do twists. I could do that on the post leg, honestly. But just to kind of hold up other things, like another anvil, like a doming anvil. Shoot. Alfred told me about it and how he built his And I think I'm going to do the same thing. Some of the stuff I make takes me very little time, some of it takes me a little bit longer. I've been experimenting on these streams with different ways of doing what I'm doing, so to see what works best for me, what doesn't. So you'll see me do a lot of different things. Some of it, other streams will say that's the right answer to do, some will say probably not. That's how it goes. We'll have our different varied things. It's been raining a lot, so it's been kind of I've been wanting to get to the forge most of the week. I usually do. I like getting in the forge and doing stuff. I saved some projects to do for the stream with you guys. Some of them I don't. But we're kind of working towards getting a better streamlined thing, me and Andy. My buddy from the last stream you saw in the shop. He's working on getting some money together to get us a new building, so that way we can fill it with stuff, like actually have places, like this is where the drill press is going to be, grinders are over here, forge, small forge, anvils as we need them in descending size or height, stuff like that. That's the idea. Because I have to actually start hammering it more this time around because I don't have any cutting blades for my angle grinder. The last one broke. And I've been at work most of the time at night, so I don't really wake up during the day. So I haven't been able to go buy them and each go do some stuff with the military. So we've been kind of short-handed. This is where having a helper would be excellent. Not only for me to have beer runs, but to get stuff for me. One tip, though, that I can give with 100% certainty in my mind and into your ears is find a steel, try all sorts of different ones, work it, and find the steel that you like the best. And then just keep working at it, kind of research it a bit, find out what it's good for, knives or swords or fittings, or works really good for locks or something similar. And kind of find out what it's good for in your field of metalworking. Everyone has a different flavor, different favored. So it just kind of goes together that you try out things that you enjoy. So, when you decide to pick up the tongs and hammer, know what steel is best for you. 1075, 1084 are some decent steels to go with if you're beginning. I'd recommend them at least. kind of let the hammer just drop on its own. It's to help take out a bend. If it sits like flat where I want it, but it comes up, kind of let it go back down instead of just pounding it, because then it goes up. Also works if your blade, say this is your cutting edge, and the spine is kinking in. To undo that, and without undoing a lot of your bevel work, flip it over where it's edge up, and just gravity drop your hammer a few times until that spine corrects back to where it needs to be. Down, and if it has any gaps that is not flush with the anvil face, then you know there's a bend. But just be mindful about any bends that you intentionally put in there, because sometimes you want them there, sometimes you don't. How full is this? I didn't refill it. Yeah, it's still plenty. We'll give it a little bit more. Ow, damn it. Well, I officially burnt myself in my own porch once. That hurt. I'm actually not as surprised that it took this long. I am a little bit surprised. Ow. So what happened was, I noticed one of the back burner's chokes had fallen, so I went over and didn't think about it and touched it. So I burnt myself here and in here, which is a lot better than me just grabbing it and choking it back up. Would have been a lot worse. That hurts. I'll have a nifty little imprint for a few weeks or months, but otherwise I'm unharmed. I know. And before you give me the GG, my good friend, you should get back to work. Please. It's been dreadfully boring. Progress report on that. Just up here by an inch. But now we're getting there. So I know, slow but surely. Still, it's better than nothing. That's gonna suck. Should have wore gloves. Let that be a lesson to you. Pretty much. Like, I've been lucky. I haven't got really burnt in the shop. I got burnt on my forearm a little bit. Not earlier, but before. About 3 months ago. My buddy was making something out of rebar, twisting it and bending it. And a piece of it was still cut off, where he just finished cutting it to finish up his piece. And I was kind of intoxicated. And I walked up and I just brushed it. At first it was like, ow. And I looked down, I had a nice little path of where it was. Could smell skin cook. Then I was like, that sucks. And I sat down and took another swig, and it made it better. And advocating if you feel pain, drink alcohol, but They work for me. As I said on a few previous streams ago, if you have any scrap metals that you can identify, if you can, feel free and send them to me. Shoot me a DM on Twitter if you want to send it, and I'll make something. You kind of give me an idea, and we'll talk about whether or not I can actually make it. Or wood. Not the stuff that you get from like a lumberyard or a Home Depot. Just look up handle material, and you'll know if you have some on hand that are good materials for it. You don't want to like use a treated 2x4 or something. I mean, you can, but still. Now, if you'll pardon me, I'm going to have some nicotine. I'll be right back. So, shoot any questions you want. I'm about to get back into this. So it should be a pretty slow week today, or this week, with work. So I might be streaming a little bit more during the week as well. I'll let you know through Twitter as normal with the other streams, as best as ahead of time as I can. We're going to try to stick to the Sunday schedule as best we can, but probably not next Sunday, because I may have to crash somewhere after the fight on the 19th. But yeah. We'll see how it goes. So feel free, as soon as we finish up these knives, shoot me a message about what you would like to see me make next. Tools are fine. I don't have the means to make a hammer yet. I would love to, but I don't. But shoot me a message and I'll see if I can put it together on stream for you guys. We can try to make some tongs, maybe a wrench or something. I don't know. We'll see what we can do. To try to break off the steel because I don't have a guillotine that's kind of thinned it out even more. Kind of trying to smash it to like a thin crisp so I can break it off easier. Since I don't have a cut wheel, I'm just doing the cheap way, an easy way, sadly. So we're gonna go the a little bit longer route to make it easier. Prep it by setting a nice paint mark about where we want it to bend all the way through. That is not throw it back in to heat back up proper. And then back and forth as it cools to kind of make a fracture point, and then finally for it to break off. And then from there I'll grind that brake pitch back enough where the tank is usable, and then I have a fairly certain amount of belief that it won't cause any issues in the tank later. Hopefully. But thanks for sticking around, guys. I appreciate it. It makes a lot of what I do feel a lot better. Make sure this thing's still charging. Yay. grips for cold hot metal. Improved tongs, but they didn't do too well. They vibrate loose. Just like I wanted to do in the first place. But we'll make it work. Don't you worry, guys. We'll make it work. You simply have to adapt and overcome the problem, and we will. Come hell or high water, we will. Even if I have to file it down to nothing, we'll get it there. That'd be arduous, to say the least. But at least we've upset the metal a little bit. Should make it easier to bend. Should. Keyword. I don't have a proper bend tool. I just got this little bag. But for the Broback sacks, this is what we're going for. This kind of like plain tip. That way, maybe a bit more of a straight break. At least what you would classically see in a sax in the media itself. But I won't let this setback make me feel bad. We've only been at it for an hour. It's not too bad. Not too bad. So what's up, guys? What's on your end of the computer screen? How y'all doing? other than the doming anvil, we're going to try to make a dishing bowl with a stump. So we can hammer out like boxes and stuff, and other stuff, maybe a bowl or a cup or something. Because I don't have a swage block for that. There's a few swage blocks similar. It's a square block usually with different shapes cut out of it. You can turn it to find the shape you need, and some such like that. My friend Andy has been putting together a casting thing so we can do like small bits and bobs, like these two brass pieces right here for his dirk. This is going to be at the bottom where he'll peen the bottom of it, and this right here for the spacer at the top. I know we got some more tools around here somewhere that could be of use. Oh, if you ever want to know what doing pattern welded stuff inside your propane forge with some refractory brick will do to your bricks, that right there. That's where the flux ate through it. All that slag came off, as well as some of the flux liquidizing onto it. Liquidating or dripping onto. God, I can't talk today. Ah. Differently. Should. I say should. Let's go ahead and reset you down. A little bit small. Yeah, that should do it. The only problem that I have with this is that this top part's really loose. So I'll it slide up and down a little bit easier. But I need it to stay stiff. Like, ready to go. But it won't. I know it won't. Never fear. There's always a way. One way or another, there's always a way. And to think, I almost decided not to come in today. Almost. tightness on me. So it's a little bit annoying, to say the least. But we should have it just thin enough that if I really, really, really wanted to, which I'm about to, I'll use this hacksaw to go through the rest. Just like I did with that piece of spring steel, that leaf spring, a few episodes back. And since it's hot, it should start cutting fairly easy. I'd say should. Doesn't mean it will. It's all about the willingness of your mind versus what you're working against, and how much you want it, I guess. If you want to be inspirational about it. Now there's a good chance it can snap the band, because I am cutting cold metal against hot metal. But honestly, I don't know. It could. But it's also rapidly cooling right now. And with it currently in its state, cooling, I'm going to go ahead and throw this bad boy back in there. Heat it up one more good time. Gotta find a safe yet effective way to put this down. That'll work fine. And throw it in. Get it nice in there, deep as we can, so it can get hot as it can. And we're gonna try bending it yet again. Because the forge is nice and hot. Saw did its job. Got us a nice start. I should have done from the beginning. I'm kind of kicking myself in the pants for not doing that in the beginning. But live and learn. This is preset, so it should slip right back in, slip back on. Should be a couple of quick jerks and off it goes. I'm hoping anyway. But we'll see how that goes here shortly. It's currently in a bent state. We want to get it probably back to that unbent one. Like that. So we're just going to try to quickly unbend it. Yeah. There we go. There's the tear I wanted to see. And now we have enough metal for another knife. And we have a more workable piece, which is what we wanted the entire time. Tongs worked out as they were intended. Alright, so now we can grip it. It's a lot smaller. It's a lot closer to being a knife than it was almost an hour ago, or 2 streams ago. Well, since we're going to be working on this... Oh, there we go. Don't mind that fire. Everything's under control. Yeah. Something, something. Professionalism. Something, something. Talking chops was Occam's Razor. Today on Man vs. Steel, man wins. Yes. Yes, we did. Because we have the wheel of steel. Our wheel is stronger than steel, yes. Alright, that's horrible. But yes, we do have a wheel stronger than steel. Ignore that, moving on. Now we're just going to reheat it. Straighten the tang back out from where we've been trying to bend it. It's been kind of getting a little wibble wobble all in it. Straighten it back out. Continue to work it longer and thinner as we can. Anything excess, we'll just cut off later. And then apply what little we need, about that much of the actual tang. I've got probably about that much of actual tang. So Don't really need all of it. I don't mind having a long tang knife, or full tang rather. But some people don't care. Some people don't know. Some people prefer long and full tangs versus a partial tang or a hidden tang. But it's all good. Everyone has their different tastes and different likes and dislikes, just like in any other part of society. So, honestly, we could get away with that for one of the other pieces as a shorter tang, because we're going to be burning it through and setting it in. Unfortunately, this piece has a couple holes from some other projects that we're going to use it for, so we might go with a smaller one. We might go with this stubby one. This one I like a lot. I don't know why. I just see it and I'm like, yes, I like this. It needs to be cleaned, obviously, because it still has a huge patina buildup on it. But we'll have to thin it down some more. We have a nice start on this tang. This might be one that I finish up in the coming few days and really start to prepare for Saturday, because I do want to have at least one ready to sell to some lucky viewer who's going to be at the fight in Knoxville. I think there's still tickets, so feel free if you can make it. But what we're really shooting for is a tang about like that. It tapers. Because whenever you drive it into the burn through, it will do better to have that. Let's see. This one was meant for a lot shorter of a tang. As you can see, there's a huge gap. I'd have to build up a spacer / extra part of the handle on that to make up the difference. And the hole was made for a fatter tang. I'm betting I made it for this one, but I'm not quite sure. Nah, probably not this one either. It's one of the other projects that are somewhere in the shop. Semi gone by. So even as is, it's got enough to cover from the webbing of your thumb and forefinger to the back of your palm. So that's a full-size knife, at least for me. That's more than enough blade to do anything I want, within reason, obviously. I'm not going to take that cut through the underbrush, swap them down like I would with a machete. But that would probably make a good boot knife. All around, maybe a good little wheel knife. If you don't like the hooks on hunting knives that have a dress hook, maybe a good hunting knife. Couldn't tell you. But it's a good haul. I mean, it can do what you want it to do within, again, reason. It's not going to stop Superman or something. After I'm done, it won't obviously light your cigarettes. Unless for whatever reason you superheat it, taking the temper out, ruining the heat treat. Like you see that 2000 degree knife thing? Really bad for the knife. Really bad for the knife. Because once you reheat it to super temperatures such as this, where it's just in that nice little window, it loses anything you put into it. getting those crystal trees that are together to deform and pull apart. You're messing it up fundamentally when you do those 2,000 degree knife challenges. But everyone loves something new and exciting, and that's fine. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I wouldn't recommend you do it to your mother's kitchen knives. She may stab you with said hot knife. I don't know. It depends on how your mother was raised and how she views the world, I guess. Take a tub with a little bit of water in it and put it in there so that way it don't lose without freezing. So that way it doesn't sputter and cause all sorts of disruptions. But all in all, we are cheap as long as we make sure we do the right things. At this point, it's gravy. Metal's moving nice and smoother. Now that the heat isn't traveling further down the metal to the unheated parts, stealing away the extra heat that we needed in this. It's heating up really fast, which is great. So all in all, we're in the business now, man. We're in the business now. That's another finish one. Just needs a handle. I need to stop being lazy and cheap and buy some handle material. But it's expensive to a degree. Like, expensive for what I would say. Still sucking out a lot of heat, but it's also getting thinner, so that way it's going to lose heat faster because there's not much mass there to keep the heat in its bunch. But heat lost, heat gained, so it's kind of a trade-off in that sense, like with when you're working it. That's cutting out a blank with a plasma cutter from a specified hole outside of the clean, and making sure the bevel comes to a nice tool edge sharpness before I start putting on the final edge. But that's just me. It's just so easy. It's relaxing. It takes me out of the bad day. Everyone's got something, be it YouTube, watching videos, top 10s, or Markiplier's humorous way of going about, or Jack's overly aggressive, in a sense, positivity. Maybe like watching Brian Decker. I don't know. But this is what's relaxing to me. Working on these things, shaping something with my hands, it's just great. And I know we lost some people, but that's alright. All in all, it's another great day. I might even throw this other half in there and start making something else. I don't know. That's the beautiful thing about that. You never know what you're going to make until you start. And then it evolves as you go. Like, You start making one knife, not making something else. It's all nice. Everything's perfect in its own way. That's terrible. It's saddening. Alright, so I just noticed possibly a problem, maybe a problem, which is a crack, possibly. I don't really know until we clean it. But looks like we're at a good spot right now to stop down to type 2. Well, someone came back. Fuck it, we'll keep going. I'm kind of just doing it until you guys decide to go home. So we're going to leave that part alone for now. I'm going to start working on the face again with the blade. I'm going to start beveling down on the tip. I might take a break here in a minute. Don't know yet. It's only been what looks like an hour and a half. So if you got some questions that you would like to ask, by all means. Oh, joke's back. Yeah, it is some good shit. Some people love music, like Joker does. And that's his shit. He likes making fun of some shit, doing some shit. It's what it is. But yeah. Everyone has their thing. Everyone has their thing. And it's something I plan to pass down to the mini-me's that make it in the future. Can't help myself. We won't need these tongs because they're too big. These should do. I hope. So we're going to just go ahead and bring this tip down a little bit more. When you're shaving stuff that's really thick like this right now, I'll go ahead and show you. Or it's like really thick. Take your frustration out. It really helps. Or do martial arts like I do outside of this. Yeah. Find what makes you happy and do it. It's kind of what we were all told as children. Don't do dumb shit. Follow your dreams. That's about it. Honestly. The whole money will come thing is, meh, fuck it. It's not that important. I mean, it is to some people for some things in some regards, but in the end of the day, you ain't taking it with you. And if you try to pass it down to your kids, the government's going to take their share of that, which is going to be a good chunk. So give them something that's eternal, like a trade. A bit of advice that fits the situation. Some jokes that make them laugh no matter what. Just anything. Life advice from somebody who hasn't finished their own life. I mean, fuck it. I got that from an old man who taught me a few things. Do what you love. Do what makes you happy. As long as it don't hurt nobody, it's not illegal or immoral, do you. chance to tell you about the spot I'm talking about. Like, see how the edge is kind of like bending? What you do is take it, size it up, and just kind of do that. You gotta get a lot harder than that, but yeah, basically what you're doing. Basically what you're doing. Get it really hot back to critical temps, and just whoop, 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 and it'll go right back to where you need it, for the most part. Now, if my blade was on the other side where it's bending out that way, that'd be a different story, and I could be like, Persian knife, and so it'd be like, yay, curvy blades, because there's some people who are like, I don't know what this is, but I like it because it goes whoop. I think Magog is one of those people. He's like, he's a sucker for curved blades, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess they equate them with exoticness or something. Maybe it reminds them of their own tool, but still. To everyone, their own thing. It's what I say to them. Unfortunately, I want to achieve that straight Brokeback Saxon that I wanted. It's fine. It's not that big of a dealio. Wait to take out the curve. Look at that shit. That's more or less straight again. Everything else can be fixed again in the grind. There's a lot you can fix in the grind. But I'm still concerned about that cut in it. I don't know if that's metal that's just kind of moved. I've pushed back over where it dipped really low, and I'm kind of like covered it. I don't want that to be a crack, because if that's a crack, we might as well go ahead and start a foundry again and toss that back into a pot of similar steel. Because if there's a crack, there's not much I can do to fix that. Not really at all. Not with the setup I got, not with the knowledge base I got up here. I don't know how to fix it. But someone might, and that would be really cool. But I don't. What hit me, that would be scale. Watch that shit just go. That was pleasant. It's not bleeding, as you can see. Am I? No, I'm not bleeding. But either way, it's important to clean your blades as you work them, so that doesn't happen to you. I sometimes forget to do that. It's not necessarily important to do it, but it's very good for you to do it. Keeps the blade relatively without that shell that you can get on it from a scale buildup. You can remove a lot of scale buildup by cleaning it with a brush like this. A wire brush works fine. But with propane forges, you're going to put more scale back on regardless. Though it does look like my propane is freezing over too much. Some frost from my propane tank. Don't have any water on hand. Do you have some rainwater? That will help us keep going. little bit longer. It will make hissing noises at me, but it is what it is. So we have prevented it from freezing up and shutting that down. So, back to it. I kind of wish you were here, Joker, so you could have some DJ music going. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that would get me copyright strike. Well, not too young for that. Don't put me in the internet jails. I'm too pretty. Still really worried. I don't know if I can get it zoomed enough on this. You can see this little spot just so right there, where it just makes a little tiny V. That's what I'm worried about. Could be nothing, could be something. That's fine. You can stand over there and do some DJ things. It's not hot over there. Or if I had like a Bluetooth speaker set up to his DJ thingies. DJ thingies. 2019 Stallman Storage. So much money. That's all the injections the government gave me. Yeah. Oh, you're going overseas? Well, we better give you these battery of shots. I love shots, not those kinds, Travis. The kind you don't want. I'm gonna change the grip. Start to get That's how I feel about that. But you guys go ahead and listen to the lovely fire. I'll be right back. About the delay. Kept you waiting, huh? We just got to profile the blade now a little bit better. It's a little bit too, well, boxy, honestly. Things I should have done early on in the build was bring the tip back further. I don't want to build the tip too soon. Again, I can fix what's wrong with it right now with the grinder. I'd rather not, simply because it's easier right now to just keep hitting it. And I really don't want to find out if that's a crack, because I'll be very heartbroken on the inside. That place where men put their feelings until they die. But yeah, it would suck. It would. But thankfully, we saved a bit of steel to do another one if that one should be crap. If it is crap, oh well. Again, put the heartbreak in the bottle, seal it really tight with all the other disappointments the young man has, and then just cast it away. Somewhere in the bowels of our bowels, I guess. Part, we're right there. We're at the right spot. Now we can let everything cool down. Everything's hunky-dory for now. And I'm going to soak up some of this heat now that we're at a part where I can slow down and stop. I'm going to let it cool down. I'm going to hit it with the sander over there, right behind the camera. And we're going to take a look, see what we got. It'll be easier than trying to finish this to completion if I find out right now if that crack is a crack or it's simply some metal that's overlapped. It'll be easier on my heart and soul if I do that. So while we wait for this nice piece of steel to get to touching temperature, not like touching temperature I had with the chokes a minute ago, but we'll check that out. So go ahead and hit me with your best stuff, and I'll respond as best I can. So, what's new with you, chat? Any questions you have for me? Any observations you would like to share? I'm all ears, eyes. Either way. And since it is going to get a bit colder, I'm going to go ahead and put my jacket back on. Won't need the apron as much until we start grinding. So we're going to swap out. Got this for Christmas. It's really warm. I like it. Could be a little bit thicker, but it is what it is. Truly. So what do you got for me? I'll give. But I do forewarn. Once that gets to touch temp, noise volume, forewarning, it's gonna get loud. The belt's still good. That's good. That'll help. So what's on your noodles? That was almost tragic. That was almost a real shame right there. I have thankfully never fallen yet in the shop. I've only kind of jinked myself there a little bit, but not by much. Probably. I don't know. I'm more or less on break. This was the Q&A time. more or less. Because we got the knife halfway done. The next step after it's cold enough done is to crack it back into a prettier state. Understandably, Joker is probably streaming. Probably. And I mean, it could be worse. I could be rambling about Scooby. I'm joking. That would probably get a lot of views. Probably. So, Cadunt, what you would like to know? Because you have me here for this however long before that cools down enough for me to touch. And I'm going to have a beer. Here's to you, Cadunt. Glorious. No, I'm saying it's Q&A because I'm letting the metal, it's just fresh out of the forge by a few minutes. I'm letting it get to touch temp so I can actually touch it. Is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? That's not a question so much as half a question, but yes. But my counter question is, African or European? And what is it laden with in the future? Because I know you add in how much is the airspeed velocity of a laden swallow. Is it with coconuts or a soundboard? The world may never know. Exactly. I don't know either. But still, right now all we're doing, it's a great movie. Everyone's been watching it recently. Is there like an anniversary right now for anything dealing with Monty Python? Because I've noticed a lot of people watching The Quest for the Holy Grail quite recently. Like about 7 people that I know of watching it recently. Is there like, oh, okay. But yeah. Oh. I'm glad I streamed a little. It's only 8, almost 8:30, which is pretty early for me. This is all Central Time. But what the fuck? It's going to be banned in the UK? For what? For quality? For humor? Oh god, it's because of the memes, isn't it? It's because of them. Oh, there goes Cadunt. But yeah, future viewers, we're waiting for that to cool down to where we can touch it with our hands. I mean, I'll be wearing gloves, but still. It's better to let it get to where I can touch it with my bare hand, temperature-wise, than to let it be where I can touch it with this, because it's going to get reheated by the belt behind the camera. Welcome back. I was just explaining why I'm waiting so long for that to cool down and get where I can touch it with my bare hands versus with my gloves, because it's going to get reheated really fast with the belt sander. Well, belt grinder, not a sander. So whether or not you're new or not, I usually, until I hit a really good stopping point, or I run out of beer, or just whenever. If I didn't have work tomorrow, we would be probably going until the AMs, probably, because I'd be doing getting everything ready for the handles. So I'd basically leave this running the entire time while I go and get material, and come back and get ready to burn through stuff and prepare the handle and show you how I make the spacers and the final steps. Then we'd let it sit. I have no means to heat treat them because I'd have to go inside the house. Unfortunately, my buddy is away for military reasons, and I can't go inside the house to heat treat I'd have to take it home to my home to put it in the oven to heat treat, but I'm not going to because I'm lazy. We'll just do that another day. But we get everything basically ready. And probably the next day that I didn't have to work, we would do the whole shebang. Because it takes like an hour or two to heat treat it. It's no big deal. It helps keep everything stable. Because once you quench it, it's really brittle. And once you heat treat it, kind of eases everything back down. It's like putting a hot rock on a sore muscle. It relaxes it. It's basically what you're doing to the steel. You relax it into its hardness and its sharpness. And everything kind of just meshes a lot easier. So it's not like I could take this knife and smack it across this metal table and crack the piss out of it. I mean, I could probably do that after I quench. I could probably do it with, let's see, this one right here. I could probably take this and smash this across there and have shrapnel go everywhere because it's not heat treated yet. Not yet. It will eventually, once I finish doing what I want to do with it. I have another steel I already stamped to have the mark of Stallman's Forge. I don't know how well you'll see it because it's, you may not know this about propane, but it has it when it breaks down to make the ignition and it's burning, it releases. Yeah, I know the feeling. Thinking's been hard today. I may go home and go straight to sleep. I may not. I don't know. I might be there to watch you guys do ramble stream. But you can't see it well because I have not mastered the art of getting this to show through very well yet. But right here above my pinky is the stamp. It's not very visible, sadly. I'd have to polish it really, really well. I can see it when I like look for it because I know what to look for. And I may be in the market for a new one because this one's great for small things or hitting wood and getting it to stamp. But I kind of want a little bit bigger so it's a little bit easier to see. Because don't get me wrong, I love my mark. I love the way it looks, but I'm probably going to end up getting a new one. This is like phase 1. I could try. I could really try. I don't have really the means to make one yet myself. I imagine I would cast it. I'd make the indentions inside the clay first, or the sand. I'd like stamp. I'd have someone craft me a stamp it really good so it makes a nice deep imprint, and then pour the metal in. So that way it kind of stays to it and makes the shape I want. But we're not at that stage yet. Right now, I've actually commissioned people who make these. That's the person who made this one for me was the owner of Distal Steel. It's really good for stuff that's soft. This is made of A2 steel. You can look at the properties whenever, if you were so inclined. But I think I gotta hit it a little harder than I have been hitting it. Because right now, the only thing that gets really deep imprint is the blade shape on this. And I'd like for all of it to come through. And that's been the hard battle, is getting all of it to come through. And for the most part, it does what it's supposed to do. But I want to do more. I've piddled with it, to be honest with you, Cadet. I've tried. I'm not so good with the molds myself. That's almost like an entire trade of its own. I usually leave that to my buddy Andy because he's got years of experience doing art. Like somewhere above me is like this many canvas painting canvases that he started. He's a really good artist.
Like, he does really good wood. And mostly I'm just trying to catch up by making more knives than him, and thus making better knives than him. But he does a lot of different things. He tries new stuff. And I'm just trying to master one type of knife for now. Like, if I could hire Andy, if I had the money, I would. And I would just simply sell his stuff while I obviously learn the art. But I would have him do, instead of just knives, because I feel like he's wasting his talent because he's a really talented artist on just knives. I'd have him make other stuff like actually making tools and have him make stamps and other stuff. Um, Sort of like he'll tell you he's not good at it. That's his opinion. Like I don't say I'm good at making knives. I mean, like I make knife shape objects. Yes. Do they turn out okay? Yes. Sometimes. The ones that don't end up in the pond that's way over there. But Andy's just trying to find what he wants to do. I'm trying to master one typology for now, so I can branch to the next. Because if I master one, I should learn enough tricks to transfer to the next kind, and then after I master that one, I can move to the next. So if I make really good saxes, I'm going to move on to swords, short or arming swords to long swords, and from long swords to great swords. It's a transitional thing, and it's not just swords. Like, what would be my next be? After saxes, after I got really, really, really comfortable making saxes just routinely, I plan to do probably maybe migration era Viking swords. I might just start because I like the way that Ulfbert looks, so I might start trying to make Ulfberts, and that would require me making crucible steel, which was asked by Occam's router earlier, which will be time intensive. That's something that takes time. That's not something that you just done. That's intense, constant heat, constant everything. So that would probably be my next. And then from there, I'm going to probably leave Scandinavia tools to go to Germany because I really love German swords. Specifically, the Kriegmesser, the Messer, and the Federschwert. And I did not say fart, I said Svat. Um, the Federschwert. And from there, the other typologies within the longsword family. And once I got more equipment, obviously, I could do long swords. And once I got more proficient in long swords, I could move on to great swords. Um, what do you mean, Egyptian, like the Copus? The Copus? Copis? Copas? I don't know how to pronounce that. Within the proper pronunciation, besides the English Copis. Um, Kopesh. Kopesh? Hmm. Well, I've never really looked into Egypt's weapons outside of perusing it, honestly. I've always kept my focus towards what I study in martial arts within the Arma. Um, it'd have to be by request, and I'd have to do a lot of research, so it'd probably extend the craft time by a lot. But yeah, I mean, I'm willing to do those things. That would just have to be by case. Whether it's going to be a bronze or a copper weapon versus steel, it depends on what the customer wants. I mean, if they want one of those historically correct, I'd have to do all the research to make sure I know exactly what materials were used, the processes to make them, or the process to make the weapon. Because all of that's different. Like, I can't just. Do you ever come up with your own style blade? I've seen what people consider their own style blade, but to me, there's nothing new under the sun. It's all variations upon the basic Well, I wouldn't say trifecta. There's a varied assortment of basic knives and other blade types. But I might have one that becomes my signature one. Like if you get a Stolvens forward or a Stolvens steel, you might get a specific type of knife or sword or whatever have you. like how I might venture out to do these things for one client versus what I normally would do. I don't think I'll ever make a new type of knife. I mean, I can't. It's not that I don't have the imagination for it, Kadent. It's so much as I don't know how much has already been made versus what I could dream up. Because everything I see is like, oh, that's so cool, but what if it had the X, Y, or... I'm sure I could find something like it. And I'm sure if I added a lot of different features. But the problem is, as a martial artist, knowing some of the things that should go on these weapons and how they should function, I don't want to add something that isn't relevant to the weapon, nor something that one would see in a fantasy RPG. Because I like keeping things fairly historical and add some flair. Depends on how crazy the drawing is, honestly. I mean, I'm more than happy to try on any of the stuff. Like, I'm more than happy to try anything. But if it's too ridiculous, like stupidly crazy serrated edges, I mean, we're going to have to talk about machining more than forging. Now, if it's in the sense of like exaggerations on it, then yeah, we could probably do that. Well, I'd have to see the drawing. That's a skill actually I should get better at, because there will be sometimes if I'm doing, say I do follow through with my dream and become a master smith, and a museum hits me up because another smith isn't available, and they want me to recreate a specific sword they found in a river. Well, they won't send me the actual sword. They'll send me the drawing of it. They'll have someone sketch it out, do a bisection of it, what it looks like, if it's broke or whatever, and then give that to me with the dimensions and the shapes and the geometry are mapped out. Well, that's what I'm saying, is like, it's more machining once you get into fantasy, because sometimes it's just way too crazy, like, to be functional, or if it's not intended to be functional, then what the hell, you know, fuck it. But it's more of that. Oh, we got some viewers back. We're still waiting on this to cool down a bit more. Actually, I can handle it. All right, so decorative, yeah. I can see where somebody would want something that's more decorative versus practical. Welcome back, people. Yes, indeed. We're only at the 2-hour mark, so it's not too bad. I hope wherever you went was fun, and you got what you wanted done. Right now, we're investigating. I don't know if I can get it to show very well right now, but right in here, you can see this kind of rough spot. And right there is a spot that kind of looks like a crack. And I don't know if it's a crack or not. It could be, it couldn't be. Cracks right near. All that work is for naught. I don't know if I want to make this a decorative piece or not. How I turn it. So that if I beveled it by hand, it will be a lot of sense. I only have one bar. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty pixelated. But I'll move you guys over that way so you'll have a bit more signal space. If you get my meaning. We may have to like swap the camera to landscape, or portrait rather than landscape. So we're gonna go ahead and hit this with that. Now, this knife is pretty big in my hand. You can see a good part of the tang comes out. Because if I put everything on, yeah, I know. It happens. That's probably why I don't get a lot of views. Honestly, they see it and it starts flickering and they get a lot of crazy stuff. They're like, nah. But still. So, I'm going to put you guys closer to the door so you have better signal.
All right. Haha. All right. Still good on everything. Now, I won't be able to answer any of your questions very well, but you guys should have a better signal now. All right. Hope you guys are ready for the fun times. Here we go! Oh no! I'm not ready. My body's not ready. Alright. Plugged in, yes. Gotta put on gloves this time. So we got some scale in the face. We're kind of uncovering it. Well, I don't know how you should feel about it either, Kadant, but it's the best I can do. The closer to where you can get better signal, that's not it. Alright. So, I've been looking at this possible crack, and thankfully, it is not a crack. It's simply where I've overhammered on one spot with the peen beforehand, trying to kind of slope it down. So it's not that bad. We have everything we need for a okay knife. Alright, now we have a lot of tang, unfortunately, which we can get rid of again by grinder. I cleaned up a little bit. As you can see, it's a little bit shinier than it was before. Now, I still have to get the... Yeah, it is an easy fix. But that's because we have more than one bar, so it is going to be a little bit easier video to deal with. But we just got to paint it on like we had before. I'm just going to turn that. You may not be able to see me as well, but we can fix that sort of by doing this. Or we can... Oh,